While most of Thanos' actions had catastrophic consequences, destroying the Infinity Stones might have been the only good thing he did. I'll hold off on judging his time as a farmer until we learn about whether or not he was using sustainable farming practices. We finally have confirmation that the Infinity Stones are gone for good, which begs the question, what comes next? Yes, it's finally official that Thanos really did destroy the Infinity Stones like he claimed during Avengers Endgame, at least according to the official Marvel Instagram account. Just like the Nova Corps, these magical MacGuffins were eliminated off-screen. Not that I'm still salty about missing out on what must have been an epic outer space battle or anything. Captain America did have the stones during the conclusion of Endgame, but he returned them to their proper places on the timeline, which means they were ultimately destroyed by Thanos in an attempt to ensure the decimation wouldn't be undone. Needless to say, that plan didn't work out quite the way he'd hoped it would, and now both Thanos and the Infinity Stones are gone, leaving behind the question, what's next? For so long, the Infinity Stones were a major driving force in the MCU, whether directly or indirectly. The Space Stone was the reason Captain Marvel has her powers, the Red Skull's motivation in the first Avenger, and why Thanos sent Loki to Earth, which caused the Avengers to assemble for the very first time. Ah, memories. And would the Guardians of the Galaxy have formed in the first place if they weren't pursuing the Power Stone and then trying to keep it away from Ronan and Thanos? I'm not going to go over the history of all the Infinity Stones here, but it's not hard to see that their mere existence was responsible for many important moments in the MCU. Now that they're gone, there will need to be something else to bring our heroes together. A random run-of-the-mill villain just isn't going to cut it if we want to see more amazing Avengers caliber team-ups in the future. We've barely dipped our toes into Phase 4, so it's hard to say what the next big driving force in the MCU will be, but I definitely have some ideas. One big clue came during Spider-Man Far From Home, when we learned that the Skrulls were impersonating Nick Fury and Maria Hill and that the real Fury was working with them. During Captain Marvel, we learned the Skrulls aren't inherently evil, but that doesn't mean some of them don't have bad intentions. Or it's possible that the Skrulls are working to protect the world from some unknown threat. Obviously, the Infinity Saga was kind of a big deal in both box office numbers and the MCU. While most of the action we saw took place on Earth, let's not forget that half of all life in the entire universe was wiped out, and then there was a massive battle on our humble, often overlooked planet. It's possible this drew some unwanted attention from major villains such as Galactus, who may decide Earth looks particularly tasty this time of year. A threat like Galactus would definitively be enough to get things moving again, and could also introduce new heroes like the Fantastic Four. There are also tons of other powerful magical artifacts from the pages of Marvel Comics, like the Mandarin's rings. Finally, we're gonna see the real Mandarin on the big screen after Marvel punked us with a fake version in Iron Man 3, and it's possible he'll have his ultra-powerful alien rings as well. And if Galactus makes an appearance, he could show up in his world ship, which is a space station roughly the size of a solar system. It's chock full of alien life forms and powerful items, and would definitely be a game changer if it showed up in the MCU. And to combat Galactus, it's possible our heroes could seek out the Ultimate Nullifier, a device which could threaten even this planet-devouring entity. Since Dane Whitman, aka the Black Knight, is going to be making an appearance in the Eternals, he'll presumably be bringing along his Ebony Blade, which is a powerful, if slightly cursed weapon that's been the source of many comic book conflicts. Basically, there's no shortage of amazing cosmic artifacts in the comic books that could make their way into the MCU. But depending on how the story unfolds, they might not have to. Marvel did confirm the Infinity Stones are gone, but we all know things are rarely gone for good in the MCU, and even less so in the comics. After Endgame was released, directors Joe and Anthony Russo said that Thanos had indeed destroyed them by reducing them to an atomic level. They claimed that these stones were still present in the universe, they just weren't particularly usable. So there's always a chance that they could come back, although with the other options for exciting and dangerous artifacts, it really seems unnecessary. What seems both more likely and more interesting is seeing other timelines where the Infinity Stones will exist. Like, wherever or whenever Loki got off to with the Space Stone when he escaped during Endgame. Between Loki's standalone show on Disney Plus and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, it seems like we're going to be going beyond the MCU's main timeline, and I couldn't be more excited about it. We'll have to see if the Infinity Stones exist in other universes and what events they've helped facilitate. So, do you think we'll ever see the Infinity Stones return to the MCU, or are they gone for good? If they're not coming back, what are your predictions for the next magical MacGuffin that we'll be seeing on the big screen? Share your predictions with us in the comments section down below, and please don't forget to subscribe for more videos from CBR. We'll see you next time.